Good morning, my brothers and sisters, on this episode number 163 of the Good Morning Guys podcast. Just trying to give you some of that country flavor, Patrick. Thank you so much.
I was right.
Yep,
Every week.
right. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I'm one of your four hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge of the jury and the executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novosel.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening to you.
Before we start, I have a quick question.
You mean before we continue? We've actually already started.
Oh, we have? Oh, news to me.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Fair point.
What is the reason that we feel the need to walk around the house as soon as we start brushing our teeth? What is the reason? We're walking around the house doing nothing.
I'll go first. So, I think the reason I do this, and I also do this while I'm on the phone, like I just am all over my house, like while I'm on the phone. It's because I have a very short attention span, but I think in general, the population has a short attention span because normally we have a million things that we're looking at or doing or playing. And when you're brushing your teeth, like that's like something we have to do. Like you just have to be bored while you're brushing your teeth. There's nothing you can do about it.
You ever walk around your house and like 15 minutes later, you're like, huh, am I still brushing my teeth?
No.
Honestly, I walk around all the time,
Definitely
especially now that I work from home. I just like get up and go walk around my house, like just to break it
Just
up
to get some
a little
exercise.
bit. Yeah.
You're like at the bus stop with the kids. You're still sitting there and brushing your teeth. Like...
I mean, I think
Yes.
the reason is it's just boring. And now it's kind of what Ronnie already alluded to. Like we're on our phones all the time. We have a screen most of the time. So we got to be doing something. And I know like today I did exactly that when I was brushing my teeth. I'm like, okay, I got a good, 3, 4, 5 minutes of teeth brushing. I might as well do other things while I'm brushing my teeth. So I made myself a sandwich for later. I folded some clothes. No, I didn't do it. But you just got to walk around. You think about life. And I do the same thing when I talk on the phone. Like I can't sit and just talk on the phone. Like
You always end up in the weirdest spots
around.
too when you're on the phone. Like you just end up like in the Captain Morgan pose in your living room on your couch, like just with the leg up, like you're just stretching and stuff. Like just, you don't even know what to do with your body, you know?
You giggle to yourself, and whoever's on the other end's like, "Are you laughing?" Yep, you told a funny joke. It's a good one.
And it's not something we teach our kids either. Like Clark was walking around while he was brushing his teeth. I'm like, get back in there. And as he walked
kids
away,
are gross.
As they walked away, I'm like, I do the same thing. What am I telling them not to do?
See,
well, you don't dribble it all over yourself on the floor like our kids do. So.
True.
I've never been tempted to walk around. I'm always stationary. I don't know. I've just always been like that. Like I have to do it in front of the sink.
I always feel like that's when I remember to tell like Elizabeth something. I'm either brushing my teeth or like in the shower in an inconvenient place. And I'm like, oh, crap, I got to go now though.
And then you start to talk to her like, hey, remember this morning when we were going to...
Hey, Adrian.
So anyway, intros.
All right. What were we talking about?
Who are we again?
On his left and my right, that would be Patrick, who's the his, and my is the me, Lucas. The volleyball and beast to the east, who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, or your money back, Ronnie Johantis.
Hi.
Hi. And last, but certainly not least, the final member of the GMG Quadfecta, who's got music in his heart, Splitgate on his brain, and something healthy or something pumpkin spicy in his old stomacho, Marc Boucher.
I feel like you just pulled some like I am the walrus type stuff with that intro that you just like he is we and you are we is all that kind of stuff.
All I have to say is cuckoo cachoo.
Exactly.
All I have to say.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So seriously, Mark, is it something healthy or something pumpkin spicy in your stomach right now?
So I'm gonna have to say this, and I'm gonna get lambasted for this.
Don't
Do it.
Don't say candy corn.
How dare you?
I did not give that option.
Get out of here with your
Gross.
candy corn,
Family share pack.
wasting money.
Oh, get that devil's earwax out of here.
Oh,
Thank you,
dude.
Tim Pollen, for that.
Not even
We're gonna-
close.
We're
It
gonna
is
send this
not
up there
even
and
close
see
to
if they
that.
eat it.
How did you get the
Not
devil to put that
even
in a bag
close
for
to
you?
that.
And why is his name Brock?
Not even close.
Brock the devil.
Listen, this is my time. This is my time of the year.
Is Mark still talking? I muted him. You guys hear him right now?
Rude.
I feel like this topic is swarming already.
we haven't even gotten there yet. Shh. All right.
So you remember that moment
okay,
in Avengers
let's-
Endgame right before everybody shows up with Captain America is like ready to fight Thanos' army like all by himself? Yeah.
You could do this all day.
Yeah.
He's just tightening up the strap right
Yeah,
now.
We're about
but I'm sorry, Mark. No one's gonna show up.
I was
I've
going to
made
show
my-
behind you. We're showing
You
up
say
behind
that?
Thanos.
But like they sell
We're not with him.
you say that, but like millions of people buy that candy every year. So somebody's
Yes,
eating it.
sure. And the billions of people in the world, millions.
They're
of
decorating with it. That's what they're doing.
them. They're making necklaces to ward away
Like
evil spirits.
exactly. Throwing it in their
There's
yard
plenty of people that eat it.
to kill the grass and to kill the animals in their yard.
My wife eats it. My entire wife's side of the family eats it.
I gotta
Sorry,
tell
your
you,
family. That's
liking-
that's nepotism. That doesn't count.
liking candy corn is the minority. It is. It's 100% is.
It's probably
I
about
don't
one out
agree
of
with
every
that.
4 or 5,
I
though.
do
Honestly,
not agree with that.
I feel like
It
one
is.
out of
It's not
every
a-
4 or
it's
5
not a,
people,
like
there's
a-
always one person that likes it.
I would say 60 to 70% of the people hate it.
All right. Here's a question: do more people hate candy corn or more people hate Hawaiian pizza or pineapple on pizza?
Oh,
Probably
I would
candy
say more people hate candy corn than they do Hawaiian pizza.
Ooh, I would say the opposite.
Really?
I
Mm.
would say more people hate Hawaiian pizza. You get people that
Okay.
say like it's either fruit on a pizza or you're wrong.
Hawaiian pizza
I
is
was
one
like,
of
or
those things
you're
that people are
what?
just willing to.
That's the same thing with candy corn, though. Like you see that meme that goes around like step 1, open the bag of candy corn. Step 2, throw it in the trash. 3, buy some Reese's peanut butter cups.
I think the thing is that the candy corn discussion only comes up during Halloween. It doesn't come up during Christmas. It doesn't come up during 4th of July.
Yeah,
Is there
But
Christmas candy
But
corn?
pineapple on pizza
There
is
is,
it's all
unfortunately.
year round. It's appropriate.
Did we say we
all
were
year
going to get
round.
back on track? Or
No.
Are we doing the
Can I
topic
imagine that?
first? I mean, let's.
I started it. That's my bad.
Yeah, it's your fault. So I guess for starting it, you can just go ahead and start with your update.
That's fair.
How about-
just
how
go
about
ahead with
that?
your nasty candy corn filled
Yeah,
thoughts.
and leave. I don't even. You know what? I'm just gonna put
Here's save it for the topic.
saving it. All right, go.
All right. Yeah. So this week was very much like welcome to fall for me, because we actually had some cooler temperatures here in this part of the country. We have officially felt, I guess, the South's definition of fall, where nights are in the 40s, and then it gets to like the 60s and 70s during the day.
That sounds like death to me.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That kills people in Brazil.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm not joking either.
Yeah.
What, the 40s?
Yeah,
Oh, that's like Florida. Like this is like gotta like throw
People want
on
to
the
do with
heavy
it.
jacket. Yeah.
It's like
they
a
all
blizzard for
start
Brazil.
they all start dressing like the little brother in the Christmas Story movie. They're all just like waddling around like Patrick Stars. Hey guys,
I have
It's so
$3.
cold.
Oh goodness. But yeah, so obviously we celebrated a little bit. Saturday I went with my wife's family to a local pumpkin patch and corn maze around here. That was actually the first time I'd ever been in a corn maze. I'd never been in anything like that.
what'd you do before? Like a soy maze or a
Almond maze.
almond? Okay. Those are crazy. They're nutty, actually. Soy maze would be up to like your knees. Where do I go? No, like the soybean patches. It's not like they're
I'm
cooked.
thinking soy sauce.
Patrick, it doesn't start like that. It's not like a field full of salty soy sauce.
The soy sauce up to your knees.
Yep, you come prepared
gotta
with the
wade through it
teriyaki
to get
chicken. Yeah.
We're not even going to get to the topic.
But no, it
All
was a lot of fun for my first time being in a corn maze. Man, you can get. I'm glad they gave out like these little maps so you could figure out where you were, because otherwise there was no way I was gonna get back. But the cool thing was the corn maze was actually shaped for a 9/11 memorial. Like it was made like it was in the shape of the Twin Towers, and it said "Never Forget."
That's cool.
And
that is neat.
they do a different design every year, that they come into season. So, and we were there with my little nephew. So he had a bunch of fun with it. He had more fun actually just running through the pumpkins and trying to grab pumpkins. And they had like little farm animals, like they had chickens and pigs and goats and stuff like that he could go see and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun and very much a fall thing. And Sunday we actually my mother-in-law makes some incredible chicken chili. I absolutely love her chicken chili. And so she made some chili on Sunday night, so that was awesome for sure.
Nice.
Friday night, and switching to gaming a little bit. Friday night, and I'm sure Pat will talk about it a little bit in his update since he's got it as his background. We jumped into a little bit of Back for Blood with Tim Pollen, which was awesome. I typically don't gravitate towards those type of like horde mode games. I'll play them every so often, but they're not like my thing. And I never played Left 4 Dead because I guess these are the same guys that made Left 4 Dead, the Left 4 Dead games.
So explain a little about what is Back for Blood. What kind of game is it?
So Back for Blood is basically, zombie apocalypse type game. And you're going through, it has a story mode. It has actually several different modes, but you're basically running through waves of zombies. And you're upgrading your weapons and you start like they're almost like they're in rounds. Once you get to a particular a safe house, which is your checkpoint, I guess, and you can restock on health and ammo and change your guns and stuff like that. And you go through different levels where there are waves of zombies and giant zombie bosses, and there's actually a story mode to it, a campaign to it.
Cool.
And it is free currently on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, I definitely recommend you try it. But initially, like, I was kind of skeptical about it going into it, especially like trying to really jump into it is frustrating because you don't know what the game mechanics are, and they have like these different cards that you can get that basically it's almost like Hades, and you have different abilities that you can upgrade throughout, or you can basically add perks at the start of each level to kind of up your abilities and chances of getting through the level and things like that.
Nice.
But it does not hold your hand really with it, or at least it wasn't clear with it because it was really clunky at first. But once we got into it and started actually getting the flow for it, we had a lot of fun for it. I tell you what, their AIs in that game, crapola, absolute crapola.
You need a person. You cannot use a bot.
Yeah, I do not recommend a bot. There's a character in the game called Mom. That's literally what her name is. It's just Mom.
She's like your mom in the game?
Basically.
All
She's
right,
not like
all
your
right.
real mom, but I mean,
Mom's helping out.
yeah.
But she's the old lady of the group. They
Yeah.
call her Mom.
Yeah, except Mom's not helping out. She's not helping out at all. There are several points where because you can get knocked, and once you get knocked, your life meter goes down till eventually you die. We had Tim and I, for example, like we were sitting there. Mom is literally standing on top of us, essentially doing nothing. Like they did not program the AIs to actually revive teammates.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
How many people can you have on a team like at once?
it's 4, right?
4?
Yeah. The AIs are absolutely useless, but it's a lot of fun. otherwise. If you have a full team, I think it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot of fun, and I'm sure Pat might have some things he wants to talk about with Back 4 Blood. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Previous to that, actually, Tuesday night, I jumped into Knights of the Old Republic. And
Old KOTOR.
I tell you what, so I couldn't remember why I quit the game, because I started playing it and I had quit it, and I couldn't remember why, but I did remember it was like really short into it. It was like 5 minutes into it. I was like, no, I'm done. But I remembered why, and it's mainly because I am not a fan of the dialogue boxes and having to make multiple dialogue choices. That just seemed like it was very, for me at least, burdensome. It's just not something I enjoyed. But once I pushed, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a good college try this time. And I played for a good 2 hours. Still not my cup of tea.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I started kind of sort of liking the story. It has its pros, but on as a whole, it's just not my cup of tea. And what I'm hoping is that the complete remake that they're doing of Knights of the Old Republic, maybe something different that maybe I'll enjoy. But this particular version, certain aspects of it, that's aged pretty well, and it's definitely a product of its time. But for the architecture that they had to create this game, they did a pretty good job. They did a pretty good job of making it a lived-in world for Star Wars. But overall, just not for me. But
I think that when the remake comes out, my prediction is that you're going to love it. One,
hope so.
It's because it's Star Wars, and two, it's going to be upgraded to the current gen systems.
Yeah.
Whether it's the same game mechanic where it's kind of turn-based, kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's not turn-based. It's like queue up your next move.
Yeah, that's the other thing I didn't care for.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's maybe just me and RPGs. It's just not my...
I can't imagine them doing that, but what I can imagine them doing with the remake is kind of what they did with the Final Fantasy VII remake, where if you want to do it one way, you can do it one way. If you want to do the hack and slash, you can do it that way.
Okay.
I think they're gonna have that either it's gonna be that or it's gonna be straight up hack and slash, because I think that kind of system is archaic, and I would think it would behoove them to make sure that it is going to be a hack and slash type of game.
I would be okay with.
I think it's archaic for the other ways.
Right.
I really do.
I would be fine with it if they gave you the choice, because then I would be a lot better with it.
Yeah, but I think it's still going to be pretty RPG-y.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, and I know that doesn't always. I know, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know for you, Mark, that doesn't really help.
But I mean, we'll see. I'd definitely give it a try once they actually come out with it. But, yeah, overall, just not for me. I get the draw to it, but overall, just not mine. Not my thing.
It's unfortunate because it is like a 40-hour game, and only playing 2 hours of it, you don't get much of the story, and the story is really where the story it's at. The game is just the story is the reason why I played most of it. Gameplay sucks. I don't like the gameplay.
Yeah.
But the story is just amazing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But I gave it for a one night only thing. I gave it a better try than I'd certainly had in the past. So.
Yeah.
That's good. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We KOTOR fans.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's about it for me. Just heads up. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter because this will probably come out after the fact. But I'm going to be streaming some Uncharted 2 tonight, immediately following this. So, and I've never actually played Uncharted 2. I played the first one and beat it. I now have the Nathan Drake collection. So if it really grabs me, I may go through it. I still have Kena to finish. So I need to get going on that because I really enjoy that game. I just haven't gotten back on it. But yeah, I'll be playing that tonight as part of
Nice.
Retro October.
Uncharted 2 is the best Uncharted.
Nice.
If you liked Uncharted 1, you're gonna love
For some.
Uncharted 2.
You haven't played any other Uncharted, right?
No, nope, just the first one.
No. Oh man, come on now. You
Dang.
gotta.
To be in your
you're-
shoes would have never played that game and just to do that again for the first
I mean,
time.
it's only uphill from here.
Yeah.
In a good
Yeah.
way. Between Uncharted 2, 3, 4 is my favorite, but 4 is my favorite because of everything that builds up to it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Gotcha.
it's hard. I can't discount 1, 2, or 3. Mainly 2 and 3 but 2 has the set pieces of set pieces. So
Yeah,
you enjoy that, my friend.
I shall do my
Nice.
best. And Saturday night will be the original Halo Combat Evolved. And I believe it's the
What?
just went from Halo to Ace Ventura.
I started to
Okay.
do the Halo thing, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna go with Ace Ventura.
You know what I love doing is going into like an empty like a stairwell or a bathroom that's got like major reverberation to it,
Yeah.
like a major
Mhm.
echo, and singing something like that. Singing the Halo theme. That's a lot of fun. But I think it's the special edition, like the anniversary edition. I think that's the one that's on the Master Chief Collection, where you can go back and forth between the upgraded graphics and the original
yeah.
graphics.
It's jarring.
Yeah, it's insane. But we'll be doing that on Saturday night. So,
Sweet.
but
That's
that is
nice.
it. That is it for me.
You got 2 classics going, like
Mhm.
for their like a Microsoft classic and a Sony classic.
Yep. I haven't figured out what next Tuesday nights is going to be, but I want to end with a kind of spooky game, and so we'll be playing Castlevania as the last game. The
Nice.
original Castlevania.
OG.
Yep. But Ronnie, how's your week, sir?
All right. So this week for me wasn't really anything to write home about. I pretty much only want to talk about 2 things. First one is fantasy football. Because I know for everybody listening, there's nothing more interesting than somebody talking about their fantasy football team that you don't know about.
You know it. Let's hear it.
But I just want to say, over the past few weeks in fantasy, my team has turned it around again and started beating good teams.
There you go.
So I think 4 out of the top 6 teams I have beat, actually. And it just works out that way. Like Greg's team laid an egg this week, flat out. Smashed him.
He doesn't have Christian McCaffrey in there, so his team doesn't know what to do.
Yes, and I still have King Henry. So, and he's just, he's only been under 100 yards once.
Derrick Henry, how big is he? He's like 6'6", 250 pounds of solid muscle, and one of the best running backs.
Everybody.
One of the best running backs. He's so big, he's so fast, and then he just starts the night with a 76-yard touchdown run. And man, this guy could not be stopped.
You guys, Mark and Lucas, you probably have never seen Derrick Henry before, but when this guy carries the ball, he's pretty much bigger than almost everybody on the field. He's not fat at all.
Yeah, when
he
you
is
said the size of him, that's a big running back.
He is tall and just wide.
He's a running back.
He's probably bigger than everybody on the defensive team except for some of the linemen.
Have you ever seen the comparison when The Rock and Kevin Hart stand next to each other? That's Derrick Henry and the rest of the NFL.
Nice.
Yeah. The crazy part is he's really big, so of course he just kind of pounds the ball in, and it's hard to tackle him. But once he breaks loose, nobody on the field can catch him. Even the defensive backs who are normally pretty fast, he just pulls away from him, and it doesn't even look like he's running faster than them really, because his strides are really long. So it's a bizarre thing. But he's put my team on his back and he's carrying it. And a guy like him probably doesn't even feel the weight. So it's good. It's good. Pat, I did try to pull off a trade today.
Oh, yeah? And?
I tried to trade for Dalvin Cook.
Oh.
I offered my first, second, and third round pick next year. They turned it down. They wanted two
Bummer.
first rounds.
Whoa.
So I did not do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need it, but it was kind of like a mid-year bolster type thing is what I was going to do.
Well,
But so as far as fantasy, it's going pretty well.
Nice.
I think I am tied for second place with a
Mhm.
couple people. And the last thing I want to talk about is a movie that I watched.
Mhm.
I watched the movie Real Steel
Oh wow, with Hugh Jackman.
with
Oh
Hugh
yeah,
Jackman.
Yeah.
classic.
So it's kind of funny. Like it was just one of those things. Like late night, I was just kind of watching TV, and I don't know if whatever I was watching was on the same channel, and it ended, and this movie just kind of started. And I was on my phone, but I kind of paying attention a little bit, and like all of a sudden, I was stuck in it. I was consumed with it. Like I couldn't get out. So I had to watch it. I liked it a lot, actually. I thought it was a really good movie. It is definitely a family movie, pretty much. Like you could watch with your family, and I don't know, just the idea of like robots being built like to box each other and fight each other. Like it's just a cool idea.
Yeah,
But I will say, like midway through the movie, I was like, why don't they just use the shadow function because he's a boxer? Like, why are they even bothering with these commands? And then at the end of the movie, that's what they did to win. But no, it was an awesome movie.
called it.
That's pretty much all I have to say. If I had to give it a rating, I would say 7.5 robots out of 10.
That's
All
pretty
right,
solid.
All right,
Yeah, good
Yeah.
family movie. I think
good.
Popcorn
gets you right
flick.
in the heartstrings too, man, with the
It is a
father
good
son
one.
thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
Yeah, it does.
For sure. It's a good
And it's
one.
Hugh Jackman, so
Yep.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt that he's beautiful. And I mean, we're talking 2011 Hugh Jackman. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
yeah,
He's in the prime of life.
he was dreamy in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all for me. Patrick, what about you?
Yeah. So let's just go on the movie train. I watched and I got in like just like Mark. Fall has officially begun. I'm in the Halloween spirit, and I watched this gem of a movie called Hubie Halloween.
Wow, I've heard of that. Is that the one with Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
It is
Yeah.
the one with Adam Sandler, and it is a Happy Madison movie. So you got all of the people in there, like
Yeah.
Rob
The whole crew,
Schneider and all the
Rob
whole crew.
Schneider.
You can
is in
do
there.
it.
And this movie was so stupid.
Hmm.
It was so stupid, but it was so funny. Like it was supposed to be like a horror movie, but it was also a comedy. And with the Adam Sandler, like he's like a I don't know, he's a special character where he's like he's got something wrong with him, but they never mention it. He's just like the nicest guy, and everyone like makes fun of him, bullies him, and he just takes it and still nice. But it's I mean, it's a Halloween movie. It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. If you got an hour and a half, I say watch it during Halloween. If it's not Halloween, don't even worry about it. But I think it was a nice movie to get into Halloween. It was just like it was those types of movies where you're watching it with your wife and you give like the side eye, like really like that, and then we just chuckle at each other and then we continue to watch, and then so it happens again, and we continue to watch. There's a bit in the movie where people throw things at them, like everything, like eggs and just like baseballs and soccer balls and things like that.
Good gracious. All right.
And while he's riding his bike, and every time he rides his bike, they throw more things at him. So it happens maybe 4 or 5 times in the movie, and every time he rides his bike, they throw bigger and bigger things at him, and it gets more hilarious and outrageous. Where like the 5th time around, people are throwing like refrigerators at him, like it's so ridiculous. Like, so it takes a few minutes to get into. Like, oh, okay, this is a stupid movie. This isn't gonna be anything that you're gonna. It's not gonna win any Oscars or anything. But I thought it was pretty solid. I would think it's probably up there with like the Dude, Where's My Car? Stupid. It's just like that kind of movie.
Mm.
Um, but I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. 7 pumpkins out of 10.
There you go.
All right. All right.
There's another movie that I watched this week, Dune. So I watched this new movie with
Nice.
Oscar Isaac, and it was. I don't want to give anything away.
Not
because
just Oscar Isaac.
Please don't, because I'm gonna watch it on Friday probably.
I want to give you a heads up. I did not know. I thought this was going to be a one and done kind of movie. This is
yeah.
part one.
Yeah,
this is a part one.
Because there's multiple
And-
books, I think.
Well,
And-
it's yeah. Well,
I didn't.
You can't.
I wasn't.
Have you read
aware.
the books, Mark?
No, personally, I knew there were multiple books, but
Okay. Well, this is actually. I don't think it's spoilers to say it's half the book because you don't really know what happens. They're doing, but it's not like The Hobbit where they did 3 movies for one book.
yeah.
And they bloated it up to make it 3 movies. These books are chock full of information.
Yeah.
They are solid, and so making this one book Dune into 2 movies totally makes sense. Having read the books, so
Okay.
And there were times when I was like, man, what happened? Like this, why are they already here? Like I felt like, I mean, it was a 2.5 hour movie, and I was like, man, I wish there were some other scenes here because they just are jumping from scene to scene, and it's not, and they don't give like any indication of, oh, now we're here or now we're there, and it was just like, it's like, what day is it? Is it the same day? Is it like a week later? Like what is happening? Like, I was so confused. And then it was like Lord of the Rings, where at the end of the first movie, you're like, I want to see more, like I want to see how this is going to end, so it was interesting. I think I'm going to have to I'm probably going to watch it again, because the story, was very interesting. But I'll watch it again when they come out with Dune 2 or Dune Part 1, Part 2, whatever.
Part 2.
So yeah, so I thought it was good. I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. Like I think I wish I had like I love binging things, so I kind of wished all 3 movies were, or all 2 movies, or how many there are going to be, like right after one after the other, because I felt like they tried to build the world, and then as soon as they built the world, it ended, and I was like, oh, son of a gun, I want to see more. So maybe after the series comes out.
6 out of 10 what?
6 out of 10 spices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like just like I don't know, like
I don't know what kind of spices.
spicy spices or just
Like
a potpourri of spices.
Yeah.
Do they refer to it as melange in the movie at all?
I think it's pronounced spices.
Oh, okay.
Ah, yes, French for spices.
And then on the TV front, I watched this this series called Heels with Stephen Amell.
Oh yeah, the
And
wrestling thing.
The wrestling show, and there's Stephen Amell and his brother Ronnie. He is the son of in the show Vikings, whatever his name is. I can't remember. Ragnar.
Tall blonde guy.
Yeah, whatever. Not Ragnar. Who's
Bjorn?
the other? Yeah, Bjorn. Yeah, he's the other guy. That's the brother to Stephen Amell, and it's these brothers who are running this small town wrestling show, and trying to build storylines. People were wanting to fight for the title, and then there's another company that's in Florida that's kind of like a rinky-dink kind of wrestling thing where they're trying to fight each other for as far as competition. It's kind of like if you know anything about wrestling, it was like the ECW days where it was like more of an underground kind of thing than anything else. So that was like, I think it was 8 episodes. Each episode was like an hour long, and it was very, very interesting. The stories were really good. This was an adult show. This was very adult. This was on the network Stars. So they do the adult way, the unnecessary adult things.
Okay.
And you're like, yeah. So Mark Lucas, this is not a show for you.
10-4.
Forward,
Yeah.
skip 10 seconds, skip 10 seconds more, skip 2
Yeah,
minutes,
and it
skip
was
10
like,
minutes.
and I'm like, what's happening? Why are we doing this? Like, this episode could have been 25 minutes if you stop doing all this other stuff.
That's called pandering to an audience.
Yeah. But it was good. I mean, it was cool, like gritty wrestling show. I enjoyed it. I would probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 power bombs. It was good. It was really good, and I can't wait for the second season. On the gaming front, I played Back 4 Blood, like Mark said, with Mark and Tim, and we started, like Mark didn't say this, but we started on normal, and we didn't get past the first wave. They like killed us, and you get like, if your entire team goes down, then you have a continue on, and if you all go down again, then the game's over. You have to start over at the most recent checkpoint or whatever. And so yeah, we didn't get to a single checkpoint, and we died both times. We completed every continue, and so we're like, let's bump it down to easy.
Yep, baby mode.
Yep, yeah, and it was still hard. It was really hard, especially when you have a team of 4 that's really a team of 3 because mom was a piece of garbage.
Stupid mom.
Fair.
Yeah.
She brought it on herself.
Yeah, and like Mark said, it's a very complicated game. It did not need to be this complicated. Just give me a gun, let me choose something, and let's go. Like, they were trying to put so much into this. Like, this card system, like, who the heck cares? Like, it's like some of the things were like, hey, you get 10% ammo capacity, or you get an extra slot for your health. It's like, cool. It doesn't need, but they did like a video of how to, but it was like some guy who was like an auctioneer who was talking super fast. You're like, I have no idea what happened. I guess we're just gonna figure this out.
35, 45.
It's crazy, by the way.
That's exactly what it was.
That's crazy because, like, you said this is the same people as Left 4 Dead.
Yep.
So Left 4 Dead was like the most simple zombie game ever, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just straight up, none of that. I guess they decided that was better to add the cards.
Maybe
and stuff.
Maybe they just, because it's the 21st century and gamers are smarter and older as a whole. Maybe they thought they couldn't get away with doing it simple. They had to make it and give you cards. And I mean, I'm sure later on they're going to bring in some kind of loot boxes and other stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. So,
Well, I mean, we're older. I don't know about smarter.
I mean, that's what they assume. I'm not saying they're smarter.
They're getting older. They must be smarter.
They must be smarter.
We have
They don't
more
want
knowledge.
dumb
doesn't mean
fun.
we
Focus
use it.
groups show no.
And we're just more mistakes in at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, I had some fun. This is definitely a game. This is a definite party game.
Yeah.
If you got 4 people, this is a great game to play.
Can you play a couch co-op?
No. Only online.
Dying
It's
breed.
just
Haters.
extinct now.
Couch
Yep.
haters.
Yeah, it's if you try to play it alone, you're probably going to bore yourself to death because this game is just horde after horde, and it's fun because you can communicate with each other.
Oh, can you imagine mom, dad,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
uncle
say,
just standing
like,
over you while you're dying?
one AI is bad.
That would be awesome. Awful.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it was good, solid. I'm only gonna play it when there's a group. It's just gonna sit on my console until someone says, "Hey, you want to play Back 4 Blood?" I wanted to play over the weekend, but no one wanted to play, and I was like, you know what? I don't care. I want to play something else.
Yep.
Been playing Hot Wheels Unleashed. Still playing that game. Just unlocked the DeLorean yesterday, so
Nice.
been really waiting for that one. It's not the best car, but I do not care.
Yeah.
I'm driving that thing every single
It
time.
is to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that actually reminds me, by the way, there is a DC event in Rocket League.
I did see that.
Oh.
They brought back all
Currently.
the old Batmobiles.
Yeah, they actually did something different now where instead of like buying the Batmobile, you can actually buy like a skin for your car that turns it into the Batmobile. So it looks the exact same, but it's way cheaper. But they have all kinds of like goal explosions and all kinds of different. There's some kind of game on there right now that I don't know what it is, but it looks like 90s comic book Rumble, but DC version
Ooh, that's
somehow.
cool.
So I haven't played
I'll
it
have to
yet,
check
but it
that
does
out.
look really cool.
So does it have the 89 Batman, or what kind of Batman?
It has
skins
three.
and
It has
colors?
3 skins. It has the was it the tumbler they call it?
Yep.
Yeah,
It has the
from Nolan.
tumbler. It has the
They had
which one is that?
the '89
It has both of the
Batmobile
other ones.
and
It has
the
both of the long vehicles. The
and it
one that I
has-
think Michael Keaton drove,
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be 89. Yep.
Yeah.
And then the
and
BVS
then
one.
yeah, yep,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah. But they have a bunch of like cool stuff. Like they have other skins and stuff for your cars and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
I've been kind of getting a little back into it lately.
For me on the life front, this past weekend we went to a Renaissance festival, and I haven't been to the Renaissance festival since before the kids were born. I don't think Mel and I were even married the last time we went to a Renaissance festival. But it was, if you wanted to get COVID, go to the Renaissance festival, because there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people
You're
just
just shuffling in between people.
Yes, exactly.
Little sideways slip by, slip through here.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, everyone's in line, not caring. When you stand in line and there's like that small little space, and someone who's walking trying to get through, they're like, I'm gonna scoot through there, and then you're like, oh man,
you gotta inch up to the person.
You need to get closer,
so
but you're like 6 inches from the person. You're like, I'm just doing this so no one cuts in front of me because I don't like it.
They didn't do with you, sir.
But it was fun. We saw some good shows. We went and sat and watched some jousting, and it was crazy. So a couple things happened at the jousting. One, they're on horses and they're in full armor and they're going at each other with these big, huge, long lances. And at one point, so they did it like 5 times. I think it was the second time or third time, they're coming at each other and they hit the lances together and they just splintered and went crazy. There was a piece of it that flew into the stands and hit someone in the head, and she just started bleeding from her forehead.
Oh my gosh,
man!
And I was like, "Whoa, this is this fake?
Awesome.
Was this part of the show? Like,
that's a lawsuit waiting to happen."
I was like, how
Golly.
is she's gonna get like free food? Like, can I get hit in the face or something?
Yeah,
This food
you
out
get
here is
free
like $30.
nachos.
It's like $30 for a chicken leg. Son of a gun! And
They're like,
everyone,
hey,
the whole family wants a chicken leg. Man, I didn't know I was gonna break the bank here.
Goodness.
But
You want turkey legs? You got to get the family-sized turkey leg.
they were face-sized turkey legs. Like, these were huge.
Face-sized.
I mean, they were big. They were really big. They're the biggest turkey legs I've ever seen.
I went a couple weeks ago and I seen people carrying them around too. I remember thinking when I was on my way there, I was like, I'm definitely getting one. And when I got there, I was like, nope.
No,
I saw the first guy with one and it looked disgusting.
It was good. There's something about it, just holding that and just walking around, just gnawing on it. I think it felt like I was like, I'm not dressing up like the rest of these fools are, but I wanted to act like I was a little bit part of the Renaissance, a little bit. So then like they do another one, and then they're about to do like maybe their last one, and one of the horses starts like turning, and everyone's like, whoa, what's happening here? And then the one horse did one turn, and then what the other horse is doing is like staring off into the crowd, like away, because if they see, they turn around and then they go. That's the point. Once they turn around, they go. And all of a sudden the other horse just turns around and just stands there because this horse is looking at the other horse going crazy. And then all of a sudden the horse just takes off, not ready, just takes off. And then the guy on the back of the horse in his full armor just does a backflip and lands on his stomach. And he just lays there like he's dead because he has like 150-pound, full armor set. He can't even get up. He looks like he's dead. So they had to get like 3 guys to come over, and they had to lift him up. So they lifted him up a little bit so he could like kind of sit up. They took off some of his gear because all 3 guys just couldn't lift him up because it was like a dead weight because he couldn't do anything. So he got him up. He took like a little bit of a break. He said he was going to continue. They did it once more, and that was it. And that was the end of the show. But I'm like, man, like I was like, this lady over here is getting all bloody in the face, and now this guy's getting like, this show is awesome. This is one of the best shows I've seen.
So, first of all, I want to say that I went to this show like 2 years ago, and I left like, man, this is crap. The show sucks. Nothing happened. It was hot. I just stood there and sweat and watched this fake show. And you go to this Rampage show. Where I thought when you said the horse just turned, I was like, oh my God, if a horse runs into the crowd, like I am going to be upset that I wasn't there for this. Did you guys go to the fire show? The man and woman with the flames and stuff?
No, we didn't. We saw a couple of the shows. One of them was the Wheel of Death. Did you see that one?
Yeah, where the guy's standing on top of that thing.
There's just like this wheel, this like hamster wheel, and it's like on like a pendulum, and it just goes around and around like a clock. And he's just
talking like 50 feet in the air though. Like
he is just walking. Yeah. If you can look up the Wheel of Death Renaissance Festival, I think it's like the Walk of Death or something. He has his own TikTok that shows his videos and things like that. So it is insane. Like he gets up there and it's just like twirling, and he's on the outside of this,
calm and collected the whole time too, like
jumping around, doing
walking
jump
down the
rope
sidewalk.
and just it's insane. So yeah, it was a good time. The kids had a good time. We were there for like 6 hours. It was a nice cool day, like 60 degrees and sunny. So we weren't as hot as it was a few weeks ago here in Cincinnati. So it was a ton of fun. Like it was expensive. It was a lot of walking around. If I don't go for another 15 years, cool. But I would, I would go again. It's not something I would see every year, but I would definitely go again. That was cool.
So Elizabeth pretty much has gone like every year of her life. Like she loves it.
Yeah.
And the first time I went with her was like 2 years ago, and I went with her and her friend Sarah. And I found out before I was going, she's like, no, like we're gonna dress up like pirates. And I'm like, okay, but that's not really my thing though. I'm not gonna dress like a pirate. And she's like, oh no, that's fine. So like I just was the fat guy following him around that wasn't dressed up. But but this year it was just me and her, and she still dressed up. So
hey, there's that. I would say
you
probably more.
It's why the Renaissance Festival is not for me. Number one, because I just don't like being out in public around people is the first thing, and it's packed full of people. But it's just a bunch of little shops, really. That's all it is. There's a bunch of little shops and areas where people can buy things. I always call them little gypsy shops, which just happens to be Elizabeth's favorite thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of loiter around while she shops. So yeah, it's expensive, that's for sure.
We were walking past one of these shops, and there was a lady. She's like, "Hey, you," and I look at her, and she says, "Hey, you," and I'm like, "Me?" She's like, "Yeah, get in here. We got something you like." So I was like, "All right, well, maybe
they
she
do.
doesn't.
Like there are people.
Maybe she does. Maybe she does." So I walk in
find
there,
out, shall we?
and it was like it was posters, like hand-drawn posters of all kinds of things: Star Wars, Uncharted, video games, and I come across one that was a Mass Effect one, like hand-drawn, like full, like looks like kind of like a movie poster, but it was very original. And I was like, no way, Mass Effect. And the guy behind the counter, who was a salesman, he's like, have you played the trilogy? And I was like, yes, I played them all. For the next like 10 minutes, me and this guy we're talking about Mass Effect. And I walk out and I was like, you're right. I did have something I wanted to see in here. And I just had a good conversation about Mass Effect in the middle of the Renaissance Festival. So that was cool.
Great.
Did your kids go on that slide? That big tall slide?
No, we did like a maze, and there was like a small slide that they went down. But
there was like a big slide there, and I was like, oh, I want to see a kid go down this. And I realized the kid was moving like 2 miles an hour. It had to be the most boring like thing for a kid. Like you never pick up any speed on it.
Yeah.
Like
there's so much at the Renaissance Festival. You walk in, you're like, this place isn't big, and then all of a sudden you're like,
once you start walking around, you realize
how do I get out of here? Like, where do I go? But yeah, It was fun.
Nice.
But that's it for me. Lucas.
All right. Well, I guess that leaves myself. The family and I had a little bit of a, excuse me, a little bit of a kind of mix and match week of holidays and then not holidays. There was a holiday on, I think it was Tuesday, and then there was a holiday on Friday. So they went to school Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, which was kind of weird. You got like, instead of extending the holiday, I mean, if they would have extended the holiday and made it like Monday, Tuesday off, 4-day weekend, and then Wednesday, Thursday school, and then a 3-day weekend after that, maybe that would have been a little weird. I don't know. Little been.
Are these like Brazilian holidays? Is that?
Yeah, they have a lot of holidays that I've never heard of. They take off for Catholic holidays. They take off for national holidays, federal holidays. There's no like, oh, some people get off for this, like, oh, government, workers get off for this day. No, it's if one group of people get a day off, everybody gets a day off. So they're all inclusive with their holidays. So we tried to make the most of it. The weather has been kind of cold and rainy, so not very enjoyable. Not much for doing outside things. But we had some errands to run. We had to pick up some passports for Mindy and the kids. And one of the passports for James was actually, we pick it up in a mall. So we decided to have a little mall day. We, went to the good old food court there and ate at a restaurant that we have not eaten at since before the pandemic. Because in our local mall where we used to live, there was this little Japanese restaurant that we really liked that closed down, and we couldn't find it for the longest time. And we went to this mall to get these passports, and there it was. We're like, that's where we're eating. So that's where we ate. We got ourselves a little bit of chicken donburi with some hochi-ho, which are hot rolls, sushi, sliced up and fried, and with little dollops of teriyaki sauce and soy sauce and all that good stuff. And then after that, while we were finishing up the meal, I looked over and I saw an arcade called Playland. And I was like, you know what? We are going to the arcade. And the kids are like, yay, let's go. So we went in, and now I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of an old fart when it comes to arcades. I really just want to play like Street Fighter and, Time Cop and, Cruising the USA. I really don't like these gimmicky games with tickets, and they're really there just to take your money, and then they spit out like 4 tickets for you.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, go get a half stick of gum from the ticket counter.
You get a crappy harmonica.
Yeah, that only plays one note through the whole thing. But I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make the most of this. So we played air hockey. To try to like. Just in case one of the kids was getting angry or got, I didn't want it to be too one-sided, just in case because they haven't played air hockey very much. And so I was in being kind of afraid that one would destroy the other, and also wanting to play myself because I'm still a child. I would like take turns with whoever got scored on. So whoever got scored on, then pretty much daddy got revenge for them and made sure then the other kid got scored on, and then I just go back and forth like that.
You just dominated both of your kids, is what you're saying.
I just dominated both. Just went back and forth, and I think the final score was 8-8. It was a tie, in part because I played both sides. But then after that, we started going to play games that had tickets, or that got you tickets when you got a high score or whatever. And this is when I was reminded that I can sometimes not be a patient gamer dad, because you let the kids start. You say, here you go. This is, we play this bowling game, which I thought when we first saw it, I thought it was going to be skee ball. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And it had the skee ball ramp, but then it just went up to an LCD screen of a bowling alley. So like you just roll the ball into a slot, and then it transports it, quote unquote, to the screen and then knocks down the pins digitally. I'm like, oh gosh, this is lame. But we had already, we'd already swiped the card. The kids had already seen it, so we're going to play it. And Natasha starts, and she she just rolls the thing all the way to the left, like not even down the center, not even close. And I just, without thinking, I'm like, what are you doing, Tasha? She's like, what? I'm trying. I'm like, and she hits one pin.
Get
And
out
so
of the
then,
way.
And then,
Move.
so that's pretty much what I did. I was like, okay, give me the ball. And so I hit it and I go down the middle and I split it. And so then it goes to the next frame. And I don't know, we did some more frames, and then at one point I hit one to where there was like 2 on one side and 1 on the other, and James went up and I'm like, okay, James, if you do it all the way on the right side, it'll pop the pin over and hit the other one. It could hit the other one too. Where does James put it? Right down the middle. How many pins does he hit? 0.
Right down the game.
And I'm like, what are you doing? You're killing me, Smalls. I tried to keep my cool, but I really was just like, all right, this is not fun. So we moved on. We went to this Kung Fu Panda game, which was pretty much, I'm trying to think, do you guys ever remember seeing and I don't think this was in arcades. I think this was actually in like video game stores, like to test out, but there was a Donkey Kong game where you had the drums that you would hit.
Oh,
or
yeah.
you played Whack-A-Mole. You played, yeah, there's that. And then you played Whack-A-Mole, right?
Yeah.
Where the moles will come up. Well, this is the Kung Fu Panda fighting game. And you have, a big TV screen. And then you have 6 like spots that cover like from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And they span down. And it's almost like a drum set. And then on the screen, like either little dumplings or just little stuff pops on the screen, and you either hit it or you don't hit it. And so we're like, we're going to break the system, and the whole family is going to participate. So, both adults will get the high ones, and then both the kids will get the 2 side bottom ones. And we're like, we're going to destroy this. And so the game starts, and I realized so quickly that these are not like super, like either these things have been beaten to crap and they don't function very well, because my son was hitting it and it wasn't registering it. And instead of getting mad at the game, I got mad at my son. And I was just like, okay, get out of the way. Let me hit this thing. And I was just destroying these sensors, trying to get it to work. I did leave him 1 to hit. And sometimes
I would love to hear this arcade story from their point of view.
And then my dad just all of a sudden goes crazy and starts wailing on this thing. No, but we got to the end, and we had to hit like 25 to get 100 tickets, and we hit like 22. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. We could not hit 25. What is wrong with us? But I just did the woosaw, did the count at the 10, breathed, and just moved on. And then we went, and they both got a piece of candy. And then I don't remember. It was just like, all right, it was what it was. So it was, classic arcade, but definitely I have some room for growth in the area of patience.
Actually, I've been to an arcade with some of my younger cousins, and I think maybe it was Cruising USA we were playing or something, and they I just kept running them off the road like every time they got close to me. And their mom was like, aren't you gonna go easy on the younger kids? I was like, inside the game we're the same age. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
In there we're the same.
Just feel like this is how they learn. This
Yep.
is how they learn.
Exactly.
The world's a tough place.
Yep. You can't take it easy on them. They gotta learn the hard way. That's called life. So, from there, later on in the week, we actually got a mini date afternoon. Mindy and I did. The kids had like a mini vacation Bible school.
After hours.
Afternoon.
During hours.
And we wanted, of course, to do dinner and a movie, but we had 3.5 hours and could not do the dinner. So we just did the movie. And we went and saw No Time to Die, the latest James Bond.
Yeah,
nice. Number 25. And it was a solid movie. I don't know how much you guys have watched the Daniel Craig Bond movies, how much you've liked them, but Mindy and I have been a fan since Casino Royale. I love Daniel Craig's take on James Bond and really his development overall. It was a stellar movie. It touched like not only on the classic tropes in a good way, like it hit all the James Bond classic moments. It had shout outs to all his other movies, and then just tied it up with a neat little bow. And in the end, as 2021 has already done, made it all about family, and it was awesome.
Nice. Cool.
So
Yeah.
I recommend it. I give it a 8 out of 10 strands of DNA. I will say it's almost 3 hours long. It is 2
Wow, really?
hours and 43 minutes. I was not prepared. So funny
Well-
story.
Go ahead.
Well, what?
I was
Oh,
gonna
no,
say,
you said-
well, it's Daniel Craig's last film, so
I mean, yeah.
last Bond film, I should say.
And when I say it was almost 3 hours, it was a good, like, it wasn't quite to the level of like an MCU movie 3 hours where you're like wall to wall
Yeah.
craziness and hilarious jokes, but it was solid. Like there was not it didn't drag out anything. It was really good, but I was not prepared for it to be almost 3 hours because we started the movie probably an hour after the kids started, and we had like 2.5 hours to get back to the church to pick up the kids. But since the movie was 2 hours and 45 minutes thereabouts, not counting previews, they were like approaching the final act of the movie, and it was time to pick up the kids. And we're like, And Mindy was like, she is not a fan of being late. She feels really guilty when she inconveniences people. And of course, I'm over there just being like, it'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's not a big deal. And so we were like whispering back and forth while also trying to watch the movie. And I was just like, you know what? Just watch the movie. I told her to write some people and just, it'll be fine. So we watched the movie and we get to the church like an hour and 10 minutes late. And I get into the church and like literally everybody and their brother is still there at this event running around. Kids are running around like with chickens with their heads cut off, like just running everywhere, screaming. And I'm like, no, we didn't miss anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so it worked
Good.
out.
Good.
And it was nice. So that was a blast. On the gaming front, no surprise, I'm still playing Hades, and I have officially crossed over 200 hours of play.
Nice.
Or
With-
die hard, my friend.
I am diehard, and there's no end in sight. I'm currently working on getting all 20 bounties for each of the 6 weapons. I've already finished 2 or 3 of the weapons. I just have a few more, probably like half a dozen runs or so to finish all the bounties, and then I'll just keep pushing heat and see how difficult I can make it and still survive, and that kind of stuff. I did do a fun challenge this week called the Fun Run Challenge that a guy in the Hidden Aspects Discord, which is a podcast based off of Hades, he shared what he called the Fun Run. Pretty much you turn on the Pact of Punishment to where all the bosses are on their hardest form, and it's like a remix of all the bosses where they're really hard. And then you turn on what's called approval process, where you can only choose one boon. Like they give you 3 options, but they scratch out 2 of them, and it's just random which one you'll get. And so the whole run is you leave it to the fates of what your build is, and then you just pretty much have to survive by skill. And I ran through all 6 weapons, and I think 4 or 5 of those times I died at the final boss, because instead of having 2 phases, he has 3. He's stronger, tougher, hits faster, and I just couldn't do it. So I took a break, and then a day later I went back and I got that railgun out again. And I had a run where the stars aligned, and I got to the final boss, and I destroyed him.
Nice.
I pretty much like face tanked him, where I was so strong that I could just like mash in his face and just keep mashing all the buttons, and I took him down. So that was a good time.
Did you
I
say
enjoyed that.
face tanked?
Yeah, I face tanked him. Have you heard that phrase before?
Is that a phrase?
It is.
I haven't either.
Anyone?
Nope. I'm out.
You can look it up if you want.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not a thing.
I am
I've just never
scared
heard
to
it.
Google face tanked.
Face tank. That's where you just don't. There's another way you can say you call it unga bunga. I also
All
like
right.
the
Urban
Bunga.
Urban
It's going to be
Dictionary.
some drunk
Here
guy
we go.
running into
Here
a
we
glass
go.
door.
Basically, face tanking. I'm gonna have to try to censor myself because I'm on Urban Dictionary right now.
You have to clean that up.
Basically, face tanking means standing directly in front of an enemy and take all of his attacks with little effort to dodge, relying only on active healing or passive defenses to save you while drawing the aggro of said target away from the squashier party enemies. That doesn't help.
Basically means
So-
standing right in front of him and just
You
having
just
it out with him.
you don't dodge. You just mash all the buttons and hit him, and don't worry about if he's going to hit you or whatever.
All right. This was from 2013. So this is
Face tanking.
This isn't
Look
this
at that.
isn't new.
Nope.
89 upvoted, 4 downvote.
There's a voting system. Okay.
Apparently.
So at least 90 people knew about this besides me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that makes it real. But yeah, so now you learned a new phrase. Face tanking is when you just go in there, you just go to town.
I think
You don't
that's
worry about
the
dodging.
way I play games. I
Yeah, I
face
know.
tank
See,
games.
you've been doing it this whole time. You didn't even know. Now
Didn't
you
even
be
know.
like,
No.
now you know. Now you know.
What was
but
it, a
yeah.
block button? I don't know what that button is.
But yeah, like I said, 200 hours in, and not even sure when it's going to stop. However, on the other end, there's a game that I will not be putting 200 hours into, and that is Days Gone. I have deleted it, abandoned it, and my apologies to the GMG VG crew. I will not be joining you in the spoiler cast or discussing this game. Yeah, I put about 3 to 4 hours into it, and honestly dreaded it every time I started it. I don't
Not
know
in the
if
mood
it's,
because you want to play Hades.
no, not necessarily. I played other games. I'm sure Hades contributed to it at first, but after playing it, I still wasn't sold. And honestly, besides like Last of Us, I'm not a real big zombie action horror. Like I know it's not a horror game proper, but it's a horror game to me. Like everywhere you go, people are screaming and crazy stuff's jumping out at you, and I'm just not a fan of that. I don't enjoy that. I did find the controls to be a little janky at times. The characters and the voice acting were janky to me overall. I didn't really like what was happening in the first 3 to 4 hours, so I just was like, you know what, I'm not going to force this. If it comes down to if Patrick can abandon BioShock and Mark can abandon Hades, I can abandon Days Gone. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
I'm still
I
going to
don't-
give you a thumbs down, but I will.
No, that's
I will.
fine.
I approve.
Yeah. So I gave the old college try for myself, and I honestly don't abandon stuff very often. I can't. I usually can't do it, and even looking to see I have 8% of the trophies, I'm like, will I go back to this someday? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
I mean, technically, you abandon your kids' turns at games when they're not doing good enough.
That's true. I make them abandon their turn. Give me that controller, young man.
That's it. I'm taking over.
Yeah, your turn is over. But I don't know if I'll ever go back to it.
Yeah.
But a game I did go back to was Ghost of Tsushima, and I got that old platinum trophy.
Congrats.
And it was glorious, number 275. I went back to it, and it took a little bit. I had to shake a little bit of the rust off. I had, I would run into scrums and just like press buttons, and it didn't always work out. But thankfully, I had it on easy, so I survived. And thankfully, I was, maxed out in all my traits and abilities, so I could just hit that old, I think it's R1, L1, or R2, L2, and just start slicing through fools. Getting the sword lit on fire, and you just that takes care of itself. You just light everybody on fire, and it's all good. Yeah, I just had to chase some foxes, take a few sauna baths, and got that old platinum. So
Nice.
that was exciting and fun. And then the last game that I wanted to mention that I played might be a little bit of surprise. Kind of came out of left field, but I had downloaded this game for when my buddies came to visit for that multiplayer weekend, and we didn't get to play it. But I was like, I already got this thing downloaded on my PlayStation. I'm just going to play it, and that is Injustice 2, Patrick's old favorite.
Yes. Speaking
So,
of putting up 200 hours, I put over 200 hours into that game, close
Yeah,
to
you did.
300. Loved that game.
Yeah, and it was fun. I played through the campaign. The campaign's not really that long, and I enjoyed it. Put it on super easy, you know. And I did go back after I finished the campaign and did some of the easier trophies where you just do certain super moves on certain characters. Overall, I liked the story. I was a big fan of the original Injustice, but it was entertaining, fun adventure. But I will say I'm not a fighting game guy normally, and not a DC fan of very much any kind. So I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10. But that's pretty good for not being those things. So 7 out of 10 golden Krypton daggers.
Nice.
So yeah.
Man, now I want to play Injustice 2 again.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So the very last thing I want to say before we jump into the topic is that because of our cereal discussion last week, I have fallen down the rabbit hole of wanting to eat cereal every single day of the week. I feel like I've shortchanged the Brazilian experience and really want to dive deep into what they have to offer again. I want to give them some, just like give them a fair shake. And so I talked with James, and we're going to start really like eating the cereals, ranking them, judging them over the next few weeks in preparation for going to the U.S., where we're truly going to have cereal celebration. I'm pretty sure we're going to buy out an aisle of Walmart when we go to the U.S.
That's the only reason you guys are coming to the U.S. for cereal.
Yeah, it really is. It's just a cereal.
I have a box of the marshmallow Fruity Pebbles saved.
Oh, that's right. Did you already eat the other box?
I already had the other box.
Wait.
Nice.
You probably ate that in like 2 days, didn't you?
It was 4 bowls. It should have been
Didn't
8.
even make it back into the house. In the mailbox.
I was talking to my daughter, and I was like, "Hey, have you had any of the marshmallow Fruity Pebbles?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Mel, did you have any?" Clark hasn't had any. It must have been just me. Like, it was gone within gone. Like, man, I must have had a pretty heaping bowls then.
I thought you were gonna say Dad's making dinner tonight. Then everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. He just starts pouring it. Clink, 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 clink.
It was 10:30 at night.
I mean, is there anything as magical as dumping cereal into a porcelain bowl and hearing that?
I think
Ching,
that's
ching,
why
ching,
cats
ching,
and
ching,
dogs run when they hear that.
Yeah.
We do the same thing as humans.
Their ears perk up. They're like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Oh, cereal.
We're like, oh, what kind of cereal is that? That sounds like Fruity Pebbles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm gonna be eating a bunch of cereal. I'll probably be sharing a little feedback in coming weeks of what kind of cereal we encounter. I will say that this week I've already eaten a strawberry cereal that may or may not be awful, but I'll save that for another day. Okay. Speaking of awful, back to candy corn. We have a topic of Halloween candy to discuss, and I think we shouldn't waste any more time. We should jump right into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
That's right, folks. We are talking about Halloween candy. Some of you love it, some of you hate it, and if you do hate it, it depends on which one you hate. But if you hate all of it, you're an animal.
Monster.
You're a monster.
Go to jail.
You're a monster.
Not the gumdrop button. Speaking of gumdrops, you put gumdrops in somebody's bag of candy, you're a monster. That's awful. Gumdrops that's bad. But
I'll tell you what's bad.
I don't think gumdrops is a Halloween candy.
I'll tell you what's bad. What's bad is the bubble gum that it seems like it's come from 1973.
It breaks into like it's a sugar glass. It just breaks.
You're not sure if it's your teeth or the gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like trying to chew on a rock.
You ever had that baseball card gum? That baseball card gum, man. You think that's going to be the best? That's going to be the best stuff you're going to ever taste. You throw it in your mouth wow. I don't even. Did this dissolve? Where did this?
It's also the toughest gum at the beginning.
It takes 5 minutes to make it really chewable.
Joe.
And then the flavor's gone in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's literally you're just chewing.
I'll tell you what, if you get Bazooka Joe in your Halloween candy, the only thing good about that is the little comic that comes with it.
That makes it okay to have the crappy gum though.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have that, honestly.
Yeah. I'm sure they do. They're 5 cents at
that was the best.
Your local baseball field.
Yeah. So here's something I realized is that like cereal, I'm so out of touch with candy because Halloween is not really celebrated in Brazil. It's seen as a witchcraft, evil, negative kind of
It's like a pagan
connotation. It's a pagan holiday.
Yeah.
Not big fans here. But even those who like quote unquote celebrate it, they don't like walk around the neighborhood and ask people for candy. Like that's not everybody's houses are like walled in. So there's no like going up people's gates and like yelling at them or clapping, say, "Hey, give me some candy, fool."
Is that an
just
American
doesn't happen.
thing? Because it sounds like an American thing. Just an
Halloween?
American thing. Yeah, like just think about it. Like we literally go to people's houses and make a huge deal of getting just loads and loads of candy.
I'm pretty sure it is just an American thing. A U.S. of A. I don't know. We'll have to ask our Canadian listener
Yeah.
if that's a thing up there. I don't remember. He'd be handing out bags of Vectors.
Here's a shake
Here's a
for
smoothie.
your morning.
Yeah.
After
tomorrow.
watching South Park, I would have thought it's like just bags of Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
As is
If they would
tradition.
give me-
Isn't she lovely?
So yeah, I'm totally out of touch with candy. I haven't had honestly, Mark. I bag on candy corn, but I haven't had candy corn in half a dozen years. Like I don't
might
even know what
like it.
tastes
That's
like.
good.
I might
That's
like
good.
it.
That
That's
stay
good,
away.
that's right.
You've gotten your 12-year coin. You're good.
Actually, I think the candy corn I ate 12 years ago is still moving around in my stomach. It's one
I'm
of those
telling
things.
you, like, and watch you still eat it, and I'd still be wrong. But anyway, I just think that there's only one good kind of candy corn. Only
One
one
brand?
good brand. Yeah, one brand.
What's that brand?
That would be the Brock's candy corn.
Do you have is that flavored candy corn or is it just the standard grossness?
Well, it's the standard. Tastes like candy corn. It just tastes better than all the other ones.
Ah.
Do you eat those little like pumpkins that are made out of like the same candy corn?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah.
are like wax balls. Those are
That
gross.
just seems like a
I
giant. piece of
don't know
candy
what
corn.
kind of candy corn you're eating, but it does not taste
someone
like
took
wax.
someone took a candle and they took that little melon scooper and then they just put it in a bag and they said, "Here, here's
You're
some
just eating the
here's
crap
some
kind.
pumpkin candy corn."
Let's paint
It's
it.
actually-
Let them tell them it's candy.
No.
Yeah. Now that
Yeah.
does make me think about, did you guys ever, when you went trick-or-treating, did you ever get like non-candy in your bags? One of the ones I got was like little bottles made of wax and you
Yeah,
bit
I
off the
remember
top
those.
and it had liquid in it.
That's
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
what
yeah.
it was.
Yep.
You thought it was
I
candy.
remember those.
Anytime I ever saw that. I love those things. Those things were cool.
Yeah. Kids
They
love
were
them.
sweet.
They still
I-
sell them.
I used to get like when I
Wax
was a
has gotta be
kid.
bad for you.
Oh, totally. no
100%.
good. I mean, it's
Yeah,
what
you don't
candy
eat the
corn's made out
wax.
of. Of course it's bad.
I mean, you have to bite into the wax though to get to the middle.
Yeah.
You do.
Not like you can just unscrew it.
I used to get when
yeah. Where's our wax opener?
I used to get when I was a kid. My grandparents, they would get me this huge bucket, just filled with like goody type stuff. It wasn't necessarily all just candy. And the one thing that I never wanted to eat because I was just not interested in it at all was he would buy these popcorn balls and,
Oh, yeah.
and put those like
Mhm.
that's number one. I'm not interested in eating a ball of popcorn. Number two,
I just thought those were interesting. No,
that is not a Halloween candy.
no, it's not.
When else would you eat them? I've never seen them any
At
other
any
time.
time, it's popcorn.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can
No,
go
but
year round.
no, I'm not talking about popcorn. I'm talking about popcorn balls.
Yeah.
Never saw them any time other than Halloween. So they're
I don't think I
Halloween
have
candy.
either.
Yeah. To me, that's just not.
Popcorn's not really candy though.
It's like, hey, Merry Christmas, have a popcorn ball. No, that's not how it works. It's Halloween. It's a Halloween treat.
It's fair, I suppose, but I still
it's
don't.
trick or treat, not trick or candy. Oh wait, candy or treat? No, trick or candy. Yeah,
It's got to be
trick or
your
treat.
bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Your bowl. Sorry, I get a good look at a devil's earwax.
Telling
I'd
you,
rather
I
take
think it's
Mark's
word-
word for it.
Right.
I will actually come to Mark's defense on candy corn. I'm not telling you that I like candy corn because I do not.
It's too
But
late.
I
You
think
already
it
came to his
just tastes
defense.
like
Yeah.
sugar. It's just like a
Until he saw that go in another direction,
sugary.
like after
Doesn't really
hours.
taste like
Totally
anything.
tastes like
Yeah.
sugar.
I'm gonna come to Ronnie's defense, and I'm gonna say, candy corn, it's still garbage.
It's the Long John Silvers of candy.
Oh no, it's not. It's not that.
I
good.
totally want to mess with you.
I had Long John Silver's like 2 weeks ago, by the way. It literally ruined me for the next 2 days.
I'll tell you what,
I
if they throw
forgot.
Long John Silver's in my pumpkin during Halloween, yes, that's the best house. Give me some Long Johns.
I don't feel my insides decaying when I eat candy corn,
Honestly, it's bad.
whereas I do with
It's
Long
your
John
teeth
Silver's.
that are decaying,
Nah.
not your insides.
You can get new teeth.
You could, yeah.
You can't get a new inside.
Well, I tell you
Here's
what,
some candy. Here's also dentures.
the
Trick.
Brock's
Here's your trick.
the Brock's candy corn has a little bit more of a honey taste than other ones do. Like if you're buying like Walmart candy corn, yeah, garbage, absolute garbage. But
Wait,
that's
whoa, yeah, that's don't get the generic. Candy.
Don't get the GV. No GV.
no
candy corn.
GV candy corn, no great value crap.
GVCC.
But that's my opinion. I'm sure even if you tried it, you might still not like it. But
All right.
it's all good.
Well, let's find out if
Other
anyone
candies.
in our Discord
Yeah.
shares your thoughts and feelings, Mark.
There's
or
one
if they-
candy that's worse than candy corn, and I'm waiting to see if it comes out.
All right, let's see what happens. Friggin' nutcase squared says the best houses always gave full-size candy bars or 50-cent pieces.
Oh, I still have a 50-cent piece in my drawer from Halloween. When I
Halloween?
was young. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think anybody
Wow.
gave that out. We're in a poor area.
Here's a penny.
Here is
Bag of nickels.
here's a Canadian penny.
Here's a wooden
Canadian penny.
have a wooden nickel.
Wow, thanks.
It's worth nothing here.
Trick.
He said the best was always peanut butter cups or Three Musketeers. So, how many of you circled the block and double dipped?
Ooh, that was.
Anyone?
Only if
I
it was family. That was the
I
only
would
time.
totally. I totally did it. It depends on what they were giving out, really. If it was something good, you just circle back. They don't know you've been
No,
there.
you know what's great is okay. So the goal is if you are on two sides, if there's houses on both sides of the street, what you need to do is you need to crisscross, go across the street every single time.
Continually go into the road where there's
Yeah,
cars.
continue to go on the road.
Perfect.
Now, this is only if it's like a cul-de-sac. Continue to do that, all right? And then on your way back, just walk back. And if it's late enough, they're just gonna be like, all right, this is your candy.
Oh
like
yeah, if you get the end of the night candy,
they want to get rid
like,
of it.
You can get the jackpot. Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's true.
Like we're about to head inside. You want all this candy? It's like, yep.
I feel like every time you do that though, they are giving out something like candy corn. You're like, dang it.
Like, nope, I'm good.
No,
This
I'm
is
not
full.
taking that off your hands.
Yeah, even as a kid, if it wasn't wrapped, I was always sus. That I was not a fan of.
We had to do the thing where we laid it out on the ground. Our
unwrapped
parents
candy.
went through it.
Yeah. Here's a sandwich
Yeah.
bag of marshmallow peanuts. Here you
Change.
go.
That's okay. It's in a bag. But if they just put marshmallow peanuts in your Halloween bag,
Just loose.
not packaged, just loose. So I'm like, nope, you've
That-
gone too
honestly,
far.
that's
I
the
don't think
candy.
I've ever had that happen.
That's the candy I was talking about, the circus peanuts.
God.
Those are
so
the
bad.
worst.
There it
Those are
is.
the
so
worst
bad.
candy.
I think I
My
went
wife
through a
loves
week.
them. I'm like, what are you doing?
I honestly went through a week where I loved
Stale
them.
marshmallow every time.
And I think at the end of the week, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm never going to amount to
Rethink all of
anything
your
if I keep,
decisions.
if
I'm
I
gonna
keep
lose my
eating
job
this.
if I keep eating these.
And
He's
so
like
I swore them off.
He's like standing by the window and it's like pouring rain outside.
Yep. Yeah, so that was it. Just that 1 week.
Goodness.
Travis did say, believe it or not, I don't recall any specific stories. I know, right? Said I did egg houses, shaving creamed other people, and TP'd some trees. But who doesn't do that? How about you guys?
I can't raise my hand.
I've done
Yeah.
some things.
I did not do that.
Way to represent Mark.
I've done some things I'm not proud of.
Yep.
That was not my
Hubie
deal.
Halloween over here, always the nice guy.
Yeah. Yep. Bacon St. John. Best candy is Snickers, Milky Way, Reese's, anything.
Appreciate it.
What was that?
Yep. Oh, sorry. I need to translate for Patrick. Reese's, anything.
Oh yeah, those are good. Yeah.
full size as a kid for sure. There's nothing fun about those itty bitty candy bars. As an adult with kids, the houses that hand mom and dad cocktails go legends. I've never experienced that.
Yes, they
Wow.
are. That's good.
And candy corn isn't trash, according to Bacon St. John.
There we go.
But it's way down on the sweet scale between caramel apples and popcorn balls.
I will.
They come up again. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Popcorn
yeah.
balls
You
came up.
didn't help, Tim. You didn't help.
It was so promising at the beginning.
He's like, hey, it's not trash, but
It's not the
between
worst,
stuff
but it's
that-
in the bottom
it's
three.
It's borderline.
It's in the realm of another one of the things you hate.
It's right next to the dog poop.
Yeah.
No, the caramelized dog poop.
Now, I tell you what, though, I will concede this. Like, so candy corn is a Halloween candy, but it's to me not a trick or treat candy. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
I agree.
The number one for me will always be Reese's peanut butter cups. Those will always be the number one for me.
That's the jackpot for you if you get to the door.
Yep. Especially like the king size ones with like the 4-packs.
People
Yeah.
give out king size ones.
Anytime someone
Some do.
gives out a king size, it's the best candy of the night.
Yep.
If any,
Regardless of
it
what
could
it
be
is.
any. Yeah, it could be any candy bar. It doesn't even matter. King size candy corn. I'm eating it.
You remember
It's a
that?
giant piece of
It's not
candy
like
corn.
a giant candy corn croissant. Like it's just like, or like eating an apple. Gross.
It's like
Sounds rough. That sounds like you'd have to go to the hospital after something like that.
I'm sure you would.
You remember that bull crap that parents used to feed us? Now, granted, I guess there's some merit to it because there are some crazy things that have happened. But like the bull crap where like the parents had to go through the candy first before the kids could have anything.
Oh yeah, there could
Just
be
in-
needles.
Yeah.
There could be
Razor blades
AIDS.
and crap.
But
Yeah.
really, they're
Yep.
just sifting through to get stuff
Yeah.
they like.
They just want the candy
yeah.
they want.
Yeah, because I've done the same thing with birthday party candy bags.
Yep.
Be like, let me see, what'd you get here? What's this? I'm like, ooh, I like that. It's called the dad tax. It's a real thing.
it is a
fair.
thing.
And
I pay
earned
for
it.
this house every day. You're paying candy.
Exactly.
If you don't
Exactly.
pay no tolls and you don't eat
You ever
no
see the
rolls.
videos where people say they ate all their kids' Halloween candy, like just messing with them?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
those
yeah,
are
those are
so
hilarious.
mean.
They just tear their kids' hearts right out, man.
Yeah, they
I
do.
can't even help
They
but
do.
watch them, but man, they are mean.
They're like, oh yeah, I ate all that.
Kid
What?
cries every time.
Yep. Corey Fouch, aka Smith. No, candy corn is trash. LOL.
This turned into just a candy corn show.
It really is. It's
I was
candy
fully
corn show.
prepared for that.
Yeah. And then he brings out the candy he prefers. Twix, classic.
Yeah,
Hershey's dark chocolate, Milky Way dark, and then Reese's are the best.
I'm not a fan of dark chocolate, almost across the board.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's not my. I prefer milk chocolate over
Yeah,
dark chocolate,
same.
but
I'll
like
eat
the
the
dark-
dark chocolate
yeah.
if there's nothing else.
yeah.
I prefer the dark chocolate. It has more of a flavor. I don't have a good I don't have a good palate, so the more the flavor is, the better I taste it. So I do like the dark chocolate more.
I really
think
don't care
as
for
long-
white chocolate either.
No,
I
get
don't
out
like-
of here with the white chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't
love
like the white chocolate.
Yeah,
I
I
like
don't
white
care for that.
chocolate. Come on now.
It's crap.
I really just don't like. I'm not a big fan of like just straight up like a Hershey's bar of chocolate. Like I need it to have other
Oh,
stuff
man,
with
I
it,
love
like
a classic
crunchies,
Hershey's.
almonds. It needs to have like
Like the
crunchies in
Mr.
it.
Good
or-
bar where it has like the peanuts in them.
Yeah, like and that's the same with like dark chocolate. I can eat pretty much any kind of chocolate if it's got like other stuff in it, a nugget or a caramel. I don't know. You name
Have
it.
you ever
just-
have you ever eaten dark
mixing-
chocolate, like drinking red wine and eating dark chocolate together?
Yes.
I did
Uh,
not know this was like I knew this was a thing, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
had never
that is a
tried it
thing.
until like the past couple years. Like honestly, it's
Yes.
delightful.
It's awesome.
The two things that go together so well, it's just weird.
Apparently, it's good for your heart.
That's good for me, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then so from there, pretty much the rest of Discord is discussing
Candy corn.
candy corn. And
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, it really is. And talking about candy corn brands, Mark telling people to get out because
As is tradition.
they're hating on candy corn.
He's been fighting for
Yeah,
days.
so
I
yeah,
can do
that's-
this all
Candy bar I
day.
haven't,
I can do
you know
this
what
for
candy
multiple
bar I
things.
haven't seen in a long time,
pretty much it.
and I used to love them. It's Crunch Bar.
Oh, I love
I
Crunch
feel like
Bar.
those were everywhere when we
Yeah,
were
that's
kids, and I don't
true.
see them ever now.
Yep. Big fan. Big fan.
One that I think Splig, he brought up, I think he brought that up on Twitter, was Almond Joys.
Oh
And
yes.
no, I'm
Hate
thinking
coconut.
of Mounds. Mounds is the one that has coconut in it, right?
I think they
So
both do.
Almond
Do they
Joy
do?
does. Almond Joys has the almond. Mounds don't.
Okay. But they both have
Because sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes
Sometimes
you don't.
eh.
don't.
Yeah, anything with coconut in it, I'm out.
Me too.
I like it.
I
like it a lot.
despise coconut.
You can have all mine.
Okay.
Why is it called an almond joy, anyways? If there's coconut in it, shouldn't there just be like a lot of almonds? The crappy name. It's bad marketing.
False advertising.
Yeah,
Bad
it really
marketing.
is. It really is just bad all around.
No, I will. Almond Joys are one of my favorites. So whenever, because we don't. I mean, whenever you're trick or treating, the most candy that you're gonna get is like the Milky Ways and the Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
That's probably the most you're gonna get. If they give out like Almond Joys or Nerds or king size candy bars, you throw a payday in there. I'm eating that before we even get home.
Before I even get out of your driveway.
Yeah, well, probably because you don't get those very often because usually the cheapest candy is the Milky Ways and the Twix and the Three Musketeers, those kinds. You always get them. And they're
How are
always
you
like
already eating my candy bar?
they're always like the fun size too, and you're like, oh, I gotta eat like 6 of these for it to feel like a good candy bar. 'Cause you
I
eat
feel like
one,
for
you're
a payday to be good, though, it has to be like a little bit soft because sometimes you get those ones you're like, how long was this there? And you're trying to bite into it, and it's like eating like a piece of bark. Like it's just like
Well, yeah,
hard
it's-
to even
it's a
like
cool
break it
night.
apart.
yeah, you got to make sure you get the fresh ones that are not expired.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just like, do you do like the warm it up in your pocket for a house or two and then get it
Do
back
people
out?
warm
That's a
things up
good-
in their pockets?
I mean, I don't
I
know
mean,
if
if you have a
warm it
hand
up,
warmer,
but it happens.
get a hand warmer.
You ever put like a bag of M&Ms in your pocket, forget about it, and then get it out, and it's
Melts in
Little-
your
No,
pocket.
A little
do
melty.
I look like the kind of guy that puts anything in my pocket? I just eat it right away.
fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
I do. I'm pretty basic when it comes to candy. Like I said, I've not done Halloween in a long time. I just love in general chocolate, but like M&Ms, like peanut M&Ms, bags of
Those are the
M&Ms,
best.
bags of.
And a peanut M&M.
I just love peanut M&M. And then I think like a couple years before we moved to Brazil, they came out with the pretzel M&Ms. I really like those.
The peanut butter M&Ms, I think, hands down, are the best ones.
Those are
Those
good,
are my
too.
favorites.
Those
Those
are the
are
best.
Those
so
are good.
good.
Those
My-
are good.
My daughter came home with brownie M&Ms. It was like little brownies inside the M&Ms instead
Huh.
of the
How did
almonds.
they bake those?
I don't
Sounds like
know,
they're
but
running out of
it felt
ideas.
like it was
Little
it was
tiny
too-
hands.
I was because they're just the same size as the almond ones or the peanut M&Ms, and you throw them in there, and it's like it's way too soft. It's not what I expected. It's like the same thing when you're expecting to drink like some milk, but you accidentally drink a swig of pop or a beer. You're like, that's not what I meant. That's not what my mind was going after. That's what it felt like with the brownie M&Ms. You're like, oh, this is not what I am expecting.
It seems like they're running out of ideas.
Yep. The cookie dough M&Ms.
Give me the
What else?
peanut M&M bar, and I will.
All
eat
right.
that.
All right.
Make it look like a
sounds
payday,
good.
but it's peanut M&Ms.
Oh man, that would be
Ooh.
fantastic.
You know, some of the non-chocolate ones that I like. I love Twizzlers and hot tamales. But those aren't Halloween candies to me. Those are just
Yeah, I'm out
Take 'em
on the
to a
licorice
movie.
candies.
I'm not in here.
Yeah.
You give me a box
like-
of Swedish fish though,
okay.
or
I'm
like
all
I
about
like
Swedish fish,
on
too.
Halloween. I feel like is the only time I ever see them, and they're dots, and it's not because they're great, just because you haven't had them in a year. You're like, I'm gonna eat them and I'm gonna get them stuck all over my mouth.
They're in your
man.
teeth
You
for 3 days.
can't-
Dude, you barely even swallow any of it. It just
You gotta
stays in your
pace
mouth.
yourself. The Swedish fish, you gotta pace yourself, or it'll paste your mouth.
The
full
dots are
of-
the worst though. Like they go
Yeah.
into your teeth immediately.
Yeah, the same as with the Swedish fish. Like they just cover your teeth, and like you're just like, I don't know, like pulling it out, and it's made like a mold of your mouth.
What's the
'cause it's just so much of it.
Sour Patch Kids is what I'm thinking of.
Ooh, I like those too. I don't like
Those
sour
are
stuff.
great. Those rough
but
your
I-
mouth up though.
I love Oh, when they can
After a few of those, man, you're just like roughed up.
Stream sour warheads.
Those weren't even good at the
count me
beginning.
out.
Like the sourness at the beginning, they were awful.
Oh,
You just had to fight it out.
yeah. All right, Halloween candy. Any other candies to represent? We all candied out.
I don't think so. I will say that the last thing about it is we are one of the houses that give out full candy bars. It's not because of me. It's my mother. She just like stocks up on. She goes to Sam's and buys like the huge packs of full candy bars. Like
she's one of the
she
good
literally
ones.
dropped those off on Friday at our house. Like I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. You're dropping them off this early.
Stocking
So
up,
like
get ready.
I've been to that well a couple times already, but
Always be prepared.
and we also
you call your mom like, hey, can you drop off another bag? I don't know where the other one is.
we also have been known to hand out shots to some of the parents.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, yeah.
We're out there with a fire pit, like a couple of drinks. They come by, we're like, hey, they're all in. It's amazing what people will take from complete strangers.
Yeah, it's true.
My
True.
gosh.
I, on the other hand, take nothing. I am not taking a shot from somebody.
Smart man.
I mean, the pretty ones have to watch out,
All right. Well, that concludes our happy-go-lucky Halloween candy conversation. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to shout out your favorite candies on Twitter or Discord or MySpace, if you'd like to hate on candy corn with us or defend its glory beside Marc Boucher himself, you can do that. You can find us on Discord and Twitter. We will be ready to receive you or boo you off the stage if you.
I will accept you.
Marc will hang out with you in the candy corn corner where they're crying because that's all.
You
their
make sure
life
you get
amounts
candy
to.
corn in his name next
Candy
week,
corn.
by the way. The candy corn king.
That's right. He is the candy corn king. All with is it all with C's or all with K's? I think it should be all C's.
All with
K's.
K. That's like
Ooh,
I like the
yeah.
cakes better.
Yeah, if you do the K's, that's getting a little risque there.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, don't do it with K's. Never mind.
Never mind, never
there
mind.
you go. I was wondering if you could
Everyone abort mission.
abort.
No.
Yep. Candy corn king with
Yeah,
a
you
C.
can. We can edit that
is
out.
Marc.
Let's just edit that out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, it's
that is
Kark.
coming up.
Kark, the candy
Kark.
corn king.
Yep, that's right. Candy corn king Kark. Ooh, quadruple C.
Quad C.
Yeah. So, real quick housekeeping before we wrap things up. Towels, pillows, Andy's candies. I never got those for Halloween. I don't know if that's a thing.
Nope.
Only at Olive Garden.
Andy's
That's the only-
candies?
Andy's
No.
candies. I only see it at Walmart or
Yeah.
Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Man, you got a good Walmart.
Yeah, that's right.
Just a big kiosk right at the front.
Yep. Just Andy's.
Throwing them
candy.
out like a parade the whole time.
Welcome to
Yeah.
Walmart. Here's your Andy's candy.
We got a GMG stream team still working hard most mornings, and then Tuesdays and Saturdays is all about the retro October with Marc, and I've been doing Mondays and Thursday afternoons and Saturday mornings. So feel free to hang out with us. Find us on Twitch.tv. Also, we'd appreciate if you'd rate and review us on Apple Podcast and Podchaser. Helps us to reach new joiners. Whether you want to give us some stars, exclamation marks, or an encouraging word, we would love it if you let your voice be heard. And is that all that's going to be heard? Or
I'm going to do a super abridged version of it.
fantastic. Speaking of what should be heard, let's get into our GMG MAST 100 list and throw out a few picks before we wrap it up for the day.
All right, who wants to go first?
I will. My
And he
pick
was
this
so
week.
ready.
I was so ready. I was like, I'm going first. Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith.
It was originally written for Celine Dion.
Nice. So it's a
Yeah.
cover?
Technically, she never did a version of it. The person who wrote it had her in mind, but
That doesn't count. That's not a
yeah.
cover then.
No, it's not. It's not a cover technically.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't happen, and then Aerosmith took it and they made it their thing.
Hey, whatever works.
Yep, and of course it was on the Armageddon soundtrack.
Probably wouldn't have made my list if it were Celine Dion.
Yeah.
No offense.
It's all good.
Great voice, but
Is it also on the Con Air soundtrack?
No, I don't think so.
What's that song that they sing?
Sweet
at
Home
the end?
Alabama.
No, it's at the end when the plane crashes in Las Vegas. What are they?
It might be when they he sees her for the first time and they embrace
definitely
and
not.
kiss.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Are you
Those
sure?
were those were in the same.
I'm looking
like,
up the Con Air
time period.
soundtrack right now.
They wouldn't.
What
put
song
the
is that?
same-
Is it Celine Dion or?
No, it's "How Do I Live" by Trisha Yearwood.
Oh.
How can we
Not
have
even
those mixed
close.
up?
Wow.
Not even close.
Very similar. Aerosmith and Trisha
Samsonite.
Yearwood. Oh, it's way off.
Yeah. You were giving me the furrowed brow, like
Which
what?
corny love song
Are you
was that
sure? Nope.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go, and I'm gonna go with Ryan Stevenson's song.
It's a good song. Features one of our good friends and Uncle Podcast member, Mr. Gabe
Yeah.
Patillo.
"I Have the Storm."
Yep.
Nice.
Great song.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically this is gonna be short and sweet. So
Guess that means I'm up.
Yep.
Keep going then.
Mine is "Say You Won't Let Go" by James Arthur.
they got sued by The Script. Have you ever heard of the band The Script?
I have.
Yeah, they got sued because it sounded too much like one of their other songs. So the Script actually has what's called an interpolative songwriting credit because it sounds very, very close.
How about that?
Interpolative.
That's a great song, though.
Interpolative
Wait,
Honestly,
sounds very,
interpolative or interpolative?
It sounds very, very
Interpolative.
close. To something
Sounds like
else.
face tanking. Patrick made the same face when you said interpolative.
I was like, that's not
He's
even
like,
a word.
I'm gonna have to look that up in the Urban Dictionary.
Interpolative.
Wait, Reese's Pieces?
Get out. All right.
Marc.
And finally, my pick is Lifehouse's Hourglass, which was co-written by famous film score producer James Newton Howard, who did music for all the Hunger Games movies, King Kong, a whole bunch of other movies. And it also happens to be the song that my wife and I danced to for our first dance at our wedding.
Nice.
Aw, that's cute.
Yes. So that's it.
Alrighty then. Pat, Mark, and Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.